Good morning, everybody. We have a pretty full list of things that I have to cover today, but I was listening to a channel recently, Roger Maxon. Uh, Hold on. Let me verify the channel name because you can do shout outs. Yeah, okay. Roger Maxon 2512. I don't know why it was in the feed, but it popped up. More religious type character. And that's fine. But the topic popped into my head. Listening to him go on about the video in particular was millennials were brainwashed, focusing on the late 90s, early 2000s, and the massive amount of filth, degeneracy, and deviant uh, sexual behavior. And the idea kind of crystallized into my head like a quarter of the way through that, oh my God. So, when it comes to women in dating and relationships and the giggity goo, really, what it comes down to, in terms of explanation for their actions, and this is, beyond the hypergamy that we already understand. Much like how everybody in the United States considers themselves, at least fundamentally, a disgraced millionaire, and the idea was, maybe not so much these days, but the idea was always there that, you know, everybody was just a few right moves, a little bit of hard work away from getting to the wealth and success that would have guaranteed them um, everything they could have ever wanted. Now, give me just a moment here. All right, my apologies. I had South Park streaming in the background, and hopefully that does not come up in the audio. Uh, Pray and hope. Hope and pray and hope. All the Hail Marys in the world. Anyway, much like how people have been functioning on that mindset of everybody is effectively, quote unquote, a disgraced millionaire. Everybody's a guaranteed success. They're just a few moves out from hitting their true stride. And the fact that, why do people play the lottery? And it's like, oh my God. Those two things just encapsulate it into one. Outside of the standard red pill hypergamy narrative, the primary driver for women is they're not just playing men, they're playing the life lottery. And it's just like, my God, it makes perfect sense. Because it also, there is also the drive that women have to chase after guys in power. And I am going to have to, if I remember to, I'll get to that as well, where I know of a handful of people, well, honestly, more than a handful now, but a decent amount of people who they get promoted at a company or they come in to a new company at a higher position, could be supervisor, could be manager, could be anything above normal everyday worker. And almost immediately, they, at the very least, within 3 to 6 months, they could be 30, 40, doesn't matter, and they will have 18-year-old girls chasing them. And the problems that come with that, because normally when you're in your 30s or 40s, most guys are kind of established if they were able to build a solid relationship or a family that's already in place. And it does take two to tango, and honestly, for a 30 or 40-year-old to be able to turn down attention from a girl who's effectively fresh off the assembly line, it's incredibly difficult. It takes levels of willpower that are impressive. Um, I won't lie. It is difficult. All right. The carnal vices and vices in general for human beings are problematic and difficult, and we're monkeys. Anyway, crystallization of the idea that women, even if they have a dude, even if they have a husband that they had kids with and everything else, they are always playing the lottery. It's not just necessarily generic monkey branching. It's the fact that they are constantly, that constant step up. They're trying to rise up through the ranks and get by proxy as much power as humanly possible. A given. Thinking about it more, I suppose it's not necessarily groundbreaking, but it's just more fuel to the fire in defense of the red pill. I know there's been, I mean, it's not as strong as it used to be, but there has been a sustained pressure against red pill philosophies. And, I mean, honestly, the people who shit on the red pill, the, mm, I don't want to go as far as saying that these people are trash who shouldn't be listened to, but the red pill has saved more men than anything else. Okay? There's a reason why the red pill view of the world, okay? There's a reason why it is everywhere and why every single guy knows red pill philosophy. All right? It's effective, it's correct, it proves out over time. The model, you see the same damn structures repeat over and over and over again. Female behavior over time, consistently, they do the same damn things. Okay? You cannot avoid these truths. All right? Trying to put the red pill out of your head, trying to put what you see before you out of your head is an invitation to lose everything you've worked for, destroy your relationships, destroy your life. Okay? The amount of guys who have gotten into any kind of position of power or success, any kind of honest to God status bearing rank anywhere in society. The amount of guys who have fallen to the temptations and have destroyed everything for themselves. The examples, the numbers are countless. Even though to date I have not done a comprehensive talk about red pill philosophy, I do ascribe to it. I do believe it. I was on top of this game back when it really started to take hold. I have been on back when I was, blue pill, normal, average guy. I paid the price for being blue pill, normal, average guy. All right. I had to eat shit until I paid attention to what I was seeing, what I was hearing, and then the shift happened. And around the time that some of the biggest voices of the red pill burst onto the stage. I mean, way before, guys like Andrew Tate. I knew what they were saying was the truth. And most guys growing up, I'm sure you've seen it if you are the millennial generation or older. We've all seen fathers, uncles, brothers, cousins. We've seen our fellow men in our lives get drugged through divorce court, um, absolutely milked to death for alimony and child support. We've seen the consequences of putting reality out of your mind. And there is a very large cohort of people who would really like to see men go back to the state of just blissful ignorance and effectively, you know, social retardation to the point where we can't see what's going on. All right. They'd very much like that because it's easier to extract resources from men who are blind to reality. All right. Once you realize that you are on the socio-economic sexual plantation, then everything comes into perspective. Then you start, because we are masters of logic, we start logically evaluating everything that has led up to the point of epiphany. You realize just how much you were used growing up. And you realize just how much, up to the point of epiphany, you realize to the extent that you have been just unendingly extracted from, used, abused, thrown away when you weren't useful anymore. All right. And that's the thing. It's not like you were necessarily, you went from being useful to being useless. It's the fact that women have this function where if you're useless for the moment, they'll forget you fucking existed. All right? They will forget you exist entirely and move on to the next best thing. All right? That's what most men have to put up with, or had been putting up with. And then they saw the light. They listened to the philosophy. They adjusted their lives. And their lives improved. They got wealthier. They got successful. More successful than before. And they weren't held back by fantasies of a world that they weren't going to see based on an innocent mindset. All right? Because guys who are blue pilled, it's just like the true believing preacher's kids. I've met some of these people before who are legitimately honest to God. Their family was deeply religious, and they've also fallen head over heels deep into religion, and they tend to be incredibly gullible. They tend to be gullible because they haven't had to honestly question themselves in a way that would expose the fact that their almost childlike mental innocence has led them to a point where they're just being blatantly used, abused, extracted from. But even they break eventually. Even they have to confront the realities that the rest of us do. And when that happens, just like with any other man, once you see reality for what it is, all of a sudden your bank account starts growing. Your liabilities, the dependencies start shrinking. What you consider important shifts. You don't give a shit what women think about you. Which consequently actually makes you incredibly more attractive to the opposite sex. The second that you stop giving a single fuck what women think, that's when you honestly become incredibly successful at dealing with women. When you don't give a fuck about their opinions, when you don't give a fuck, when you get to the point where you can say and you honestly mean it that women are to be seen and not heard. All right. Now, some people say that's incredibly toxic, but you know what? It's a coping mechanism and it's helping people cope with the reality that women seem to mostly exist to bleed a man dry for and run him into the ground, and then as soon as it gets inconvenient for them, they jump to whatever dude is willing to hit it next. Okay? So I don't care what women think. I don't care about their opinions in regards to that the red pill as a whole. I don't care. I really don't care. I've seen more than enough examples and have had to help more than enough people who've been through that ringer. I will never forget the red pill lessons. I will never forget the people who got me there. CRP, Undead Chronic, Hammerhand. Oh, there's a long list. There's a long list. The entirety of the War Band. I forget the rest of the names now. Oh, God. There's so many more people. Oh, fuck. There's so many more people. But I can't remember them all. I will in passing, probably as soon as I stop recording this, but I owe a tremendous debt to the people who supplied me with the information to get me where I am today. I will never forget that. And I would highly encourage you, if you can find whichever channel Chronic is on, or Hammerhand, any of the War Band, I would encourage you to listen to them occasionally. If you so need to, assuming that you are trying to get away from the innocent mindset that's used to take advantage of you and abuse you. If you're trying to walk away from the blue pill, I would recommend starting there. Regardless, this has been Michael from Spades Consulting. If you're interested in personal or business consulting, stop by the website, www.spadesconsulting.com without the dash. If you're interested in written content, check out the Substack. It is linked below and in the navigation for the site. If you like the video, like, favorite, comment, subscribe. Ring the bell, ding the bell, tickle the bell, finger bang the bell, do all the things with the bell, do all the TISM tasks, hype it, do whatever. And with that, I will see you next time. Have a good one.